Hey everybody, ModelMan here, and I've already contaminated the scene by touching these two pieces. This one here, I am expecting that there should be no dust going on. And I figured if I ran a finger over the surface anywhere that any collected dust over the last month would show up. However, I am seeing pretty much everything as pristine, which is a very good thing. There are a couple pieces of incidental dust. That is like that piece there. The other one I wiped off, that's not 3. So there's like 8 individual pieces of dust on the entire thing here. Make it 9, 10. Not to that. So that's pretty good. So that means this dust seal here is pretty effective, or should be, even though there's a hole right there. However, that hole leads to the outer wall, which is behind this. So I guess that would mean that this would act as a filter to anything coming in, potentially putting up a little piece of window screening inside there somewhere might help that out. There's also a weak spot in the front here. So yeah, that's a consideration for version 2 of the paint booth. But what I'm doing here today is setting up for some little quick tests. The dust test is complete. Let's see what some painting looks like. And with the first paint test concluded, a couple immediate changes have been immediately made. A new hook for the airbrush, a hole drilled through so that I can keep the airbrush inside the dust cover, fume guard. Additionally, I've raised this to this level, giving that area there more room to gather air. One more thing I'm going to do here is cut a styrene square and place it pretty much straight over this so it doesn't have, or place it underneath here so it's above that, below this, so that way there is still some air going on. However, I don't want it to concentrate as it did this last time. So that should solve that problem and help to distribute the air elsewhere. Another thing I could also do is run channels or something all along the ground here, but that's for down the road. So the fit is not too bad. There's a little spring in the floor, but that's okay. This cable is just loose enough, but if I need to notch a little bit of that edge out of there to fit it better, I will. It's a little bit unwieldy once it's in here. However, it should work out. I also found that there's definitely a distance. For example, this is the first splatter of lacquer that I put down with the airbrush, and the smell immediately bounced back at me despite the fact that the fume guard was in place all the way to there. Some of the scent still made it, but none of the backsplash did, directly at least. So with that, I discovered that the airflow, as the smoke test demonstrated, is set a little further back, so I don't really want to be painting too much closer than this area here. After here, all the air got pulled back, and that should work. So I might even make some marks or something to a safety line, or we'll see. And with that, let's cut to the next clip. So a couple last notes about the paint booth. It looks like I'm probably going to have to keep it on 428 all the time while there's fresh paint in there, just to cycle out all the smell. That seems to be just enough to keep the odors completely sealed in, because there is a little bit of a leak up there. There could be a little leak up here. This was never meant to be totally airproof. However, it is so much of a significant improvement over the previous paint booth that it doesn't even bear mentioning. While actively spray painting all of this with cans, there was definitely some kickback of fumes, so it's not like I wasn't wearing the mask before, which means I'll still be wearing it. And any that does get into the room is easy enough to pull out with these two fans. Turns out there is a dead spot over in this corner. However, simply running another fan over there to blow that out kicks all the air around, and instead of this room stinking for hours of enamel paint, it's now seconds. So that's pretty much it for paint test.